Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Monday Motivation Podcast. No more excuses. And I am your host, Sandi Ballard. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing and connecting with me on Instagram, Taskmaster Sandi with an I, Sandi with an I. Twitter, SL Ballard 13. Just find me, connect with me, LinkedIn, and Growing Forward Facebook page. And let's continue throughout the week as I post challenge questions and articles, and even on Friday, a little fun fact. And yeah, again, who are you? You know that song, Who? Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Who, but that seriously just popped in my head. I always like to see where people are from, as they are new followers or people have connected with me. So email me, sballard at growing forward, can't even speak, .biz, B-I-Z, where you're listening from and what platform and what do you do? You know, who are you? You know, I'm going in fast today, kids, listeners. One of my pet peeves came out in a session last week, don'ting. You know, so the last week's podcast was about pet peeves and quitters and donors. I'd have to say, I do have to say he called me out for not being empathetic enough. But if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my one post where it was like a seal and it was just this face. Like when a client swears they're going to do something this time and I just stare at him. And he's like, "You're not being empathetic enough." I agreed and I said I should have been, could have been. But then I reminded him I won't ever be compassionate. But I also said if you would do at least one time in between our meetings, do one of the, he does stuff, but there's one thing that he's just paralyzed on. And it's, you got to get in there and sometimes and just jump in and try it out. So, and I mean that I understand how he feels and I understand what's stopping him. Because it's not just him. There's many people out there that one thing is just, it's got to be perfect or it's got to be whatever. There's all these reasons why you're paralyzed and can't move forward. So why wasn't I empathetic? Again, because he was a don'ter. My pet peeve. He's not doing what he said he would do. And the biggest thing at some point is stop fucking around, stop thinking, and just do it. Like I said, you got to just jump in sometimes. That was a podcast a gazillion years ago. I'd pause and look it up, but I don't feel like it. So, it's hard and to do that sometimes. And I also wonder when Nike's going to actually, connect with me and sponsor, because all I ever say is just do it. So I would no longer be, over empathetic if this client had not attempted to practice, or I would be empathetic if he would attempt to practice and what he's created and the plan we've discussed, right? You don't know what will work unless you try it, and you can't try unless you step out of your fuzzy slippery comfort zone. I almost put another MF in there. If you're following me on Instagram, I've created some pretty funny memes, and I mentioned the one with the seal on it, but look for me and direct message me for new connectors and find that one and comment on it, okay? Or direct message me and you'll get a free 30-minute challenge call. So yes, pet peeves. It was quite hilarious getting people's replies from last time when I asked people what their pet peeves were. Gum chewers, foot tappers, foot scuffers, ummers. I mean, a lot of us. I'm sure I've said while I've been recording this, but it's the confidence, and the more so the confidence in silence when you say, being able to say or not say and just pause. But that's hard. It's like you've got to give yourself the space to think. The the list from the article I posted on Wednesday. It was great, wasn't it? See, if you follow me, you would have seen it. There was a handful of celebrities and their personal pet peeves, and actually I believe Oprah's was the gum chewer, not just gum smacker, gum chewer. And it is why you should follow me, because some of those posts are educational, but pretty funny. Anyway, don'ters at some point will not get empathy from me. And on the other hand, I heard from someone who was in a really bad place probably a month ago, and just a few conversations, just connections and tips and some exercise activities I had him work on, he actually did. And although he went silent for a few weeks, he messaged me and said, I don't think you'll ever know how much you helped. I don't think you'll ever realize how thankful I am for your advice and support. So, you got to just get there and do and try. If it doesn't work, figure it out. We'll try something else. So, you've got to think about what you're doing and how you can do it, and what's paralyzing you. You got to just do it. You got to just break through it. Months ago, last September, I actually did a zip line for the first time, and I thought I was going to be this badass bitch and just get up there and rock it. I got up there on the first baby zip line, and I paused. I was like, wah! I just stopped. And it took me a while to gain that trust, the trust in the harness, to just take that first step. So what's the point of today's podcast is wildly different examples of what can happen in your life if you just friggin' do it. Because the second person was in a really dark, deep hole. And he even said potentially sinking hole. So, but he did just a couple little things and said he's in one of the best places he's been in a very long time. So one person I need to work with more on fear and confidence, and the other, I'll check in with him. He did a complete 180. We'll stay connected because, shit's going to go sideways again. So how do you respond? How do you stay out of going back into that bad place or those old habits? And, you got to get, it goes back to that question. And how painful is whatever you're going through, and how badly do you want it? It being anything: success, achievement, gratitude, joy. Like in my book number 2, titled How Badly Do You Want It? You have to define it before you can attempt to achieve it. So this week, think about, pay attention to something that's gnawing at you, that's consuming your existence. So beyond a pet peeve, think about that. What will you do? Everyone knows they can or they should fix shit. But what are you willing to do to really fix this shit? Okay? Because a strategy session can help. Just a 30-minute conversation can sometimes help, or an email. Again, first 5 to find that seal post on Instagram and comment on it, or direct message me. Free 30-minute conference call. It will be coaching call. All right. Look forward to hearing from you. sballard@growingforward.biz. And I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great week. Cheers.